Hello, I'm Jane Dutton with a wrap of the week's news.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Starting with two big cases on Friday, the man accused of abuses committed in the Pretoria nightclub Zanzou has appeared in court. He's facing 6 charges of assault and 8 of sexual assault.
More victims are set to come forward in the Zanzou assault matter, strengthening the state's case. Today, the accused told the court through an affidavit that he's in South Africa on an asylum visa and works as a bouncer and general worker. The Congolese national has declared that he has no passport and he does not intend on leaving South Africa. He argued that if he's not released on bail, his 3 children and his wife run the risk of being homeless. The accused has declared to the court that he has a previous theft conviction, which he paid a fine for. The bail proceedings were postponed to next Thursday for arguments, and the accused will remain behind bars. Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
The lawyers of corruption-accused politician Noseviwe Mapisa-Nqakula accused the state of giving them the, quote, runaround over the disclosure of documents. Mapisa-Nqakula has been appearing in the Pretoria High Court, where she's facing 12 counts of corruption and 1 of money laundering. She's accused of soliciting and receiving 4.5 million rand worth of kickbacks from a defence contractor during her time as Defence Minister. The matter returned to court following a 3-month adjournment to allow the state to hand over documents requested by her lawyers. Defence lawyer Reg Willis said that the state has refused to hand over the police recording of the raid at Mapisa-Nqakula's home last year. A multidisciplinary approach will be used to crack down on suspected human traffickers at South Africa's borders. On Wednesday, more than 30 Ethiopian nationals escaped from a house in Lombardy, East Johannesburg, with the youngest being just 15 years old. They're suspected of being victims of a human trafficking syndicate. Police clamped down on a similar incident earlier this year in which more than 20 Ethiopian nationals were also found in the area. Through an interpreter, the undocumented foreign nationals claim they entered the country in a truck.
Indeed, we are going to work with the Border Management Authority, and we are also working with the Department of Home Affairs and Department of Social Development, because we are talking about the minors here.
The Ethiopian nationals are currently being kept at the Sandringham police station, where an interpreter has offered police some information of what they're dealing with. According to Adise Jarsa, who spoke to the alleged human trafficking victims, the suspected captors attempted to extort money from their families, who some have left behind in the Horn of Africa.
So I asked them how they are demanding money. They by the phone and WhatsApp, everything. They demand family from the extorting the money to kidnap the human trafficking.
This is not an isolated incident. As Jarsa says, he's been called to the Sandringham police station on multiple occasions in similar situations. Zoleka Kotashe, Eyewitness News, Sandringham Police Station in Johannesburg.
The Economic Freedom Fighters has called on lobby group AfriForum to respect the law after the Constitutional Court dismissed its application for leave to appeal the judgment of the Supreme Court of Appeal. The SCA upheld the judgment of the Equality Court that found that the Kill the Boer song did not constitute hate speech in 2020. The Appellate Court held that the reasonably well-informed person would appreciate that when EFF leader Julius Malema sang Dubula Ibunu, he was not actually calling for farmers or white South Africans of Afrikaner descent to be shot. The Constitutional Court's dismissal of AfriForum's appeals places the legal debate to bed. This means chanting the song is constitutionally protected, bringing a 5-year-old legal battle to an end. The Soshanguve community has been remembering the 6 community safety patrollers in the Marry Me informal settlement who were stoned and shot dead on Saturday. 2 suspects arrested in connection with the deaths have appeared in the Pretoria North Magistrates Court. The court ordered that no pictures of the accused be taken pending their identity parade.
The 2 accused persons are not linked to the killing that happened at the Soshanguve informal settlement. However, if investigations link them to that offence, then those charges will be added.
A 3rd suspect has also been arrested. The DA has accused its Government of National Unity partner, the ANC, of adopting a, quote, provocative posture towards the United States of America instead of treating it like a valuable trading partner. The relationship between Washington and Pretoria has been volatile following President Donald Trump's claims the South African government was seizing land from white Afrikaners. Recently, the White House expelled South Africa's ambassador to the USA, Ibrahim Rasool, accusing him of being a race-baiting politician. Speaking on the Politricking podcast with Sidi Madia, DA senior leader Dean McPherson says the proposed renaming of Santon Drive to Palestinian activist Leila Khalid is aimed at antagonizing the US. The US consulate is located on the same road.
And the ANC were very clear, if you go and look at Nomvula Mokonyane's, what her motivation was to rename Santon Drive was so that the Americans can see it on the letterhead every day. Why would you go and provoke people like that? You know, the ANC's foreign policy position seems to be very robust, muscular, provocative manner. We're saying that we actually need to be more conciliatory.
US President Donald Trump has formally submitted Leo Brent Bosel, the third's name, to the US Senate to become South Africa's new ambassador. He is likely to replace Ruben Brigitte, whose tenure ended in January. Bosel, a conservative media commentator, takes over the reins at the height of tensions between South Africa and the US. Trump has lauded the diplomat, who he says has exposed fake news hypocrites for years. The government has announced it will be withdrawing the law banning the sale of cannabis and hemp products in the country to allow for a public participation process. Earlier this month, the Health Department announced a blanket ban on all cannabis and hemp products. This led to anger from the cannabis industry and the public alike, who called it a threat to the future of the sector in the country.
The President has affirmed his support for more stakeholder consultation and public participation on the formulation of new regulations that will limit health risk and the negative impact of foodstuffs containing cannabis and hemp, particularly on minors.
With the Easter period fast approaching, the Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department has raised concerns over the high number of motorists caught driving under the influence. Between March the 17th and March the 23rd, JMPD officers arrested 188 drivers for drunk driving across the city, a figure the department describes as alarming. In response, the JMPD says it'll intensify its enforcement operations to crack down on intoxicated drivers.
The number of arrests for drunk driving is deeply concerning, and it underscores the ongoing need for vigilance and responsible behavior on our roads. He further alluded that our officers are working tirelessly to ensure the safety of our communities, and the JMPD will not hesitate to take serious action against those who choose to endanger others by driving under the influence of alcohol.
Will today's Heidelberg in the Western Cape's Giant Pumpkin Festival make history with its colossal pumpkins? The festival has returned with an ambitious goal to break the world record for the heaviest pumpkin. Since the first Giant Pumpkin competition in 2008, with the winning pumpkin of 47 kilos, the competition has evolved into a festival that focuses on raising funds for vital local projects, especially schools and community initiatives. You'll be the first to know if they do break that record. Have a good weekend.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.